So very fast, let's look at what we call immunity. We live in different environments. Some of these environments are actually having microbes or disease-causing organisms that we call pathogens. But again, yes, these organisms can cause these diseases, but we don't often fall sick. It is on rare occasions that actually you have someone falling sick very often. So what protects us from this kind of infections that are caused by these pathogens? It is our immune system. So the immune system is quite complex because we have a number. We have a number of cells and tissues that play an important role in defending our bodies against infections. So we want to look at this system that protects us. What is it made up of? What cells and what mechanisms actually play an important role in defending, or what mechanisms is the immune system using to defend our bodies against attack by these pathogens. So that's what we're going to answer in this presentation. So we have what you call pathogens, which I already said they are organisms that can cause infections to humans. Some of them are very microscopic, we can't see them, but we can still have some microbes that can fall into the category of, for example, we may not actually call them microbes, but we can call them parasites. We can see them by our naked eye. We can see them with our naked eyes, and they can actually also still attack our bodies and cause infections. Okay, so we call them pathogens. They can be viruses, they can be bacteria, they can be fungi, and many other categories of microorganisms. Okay, so our body has different mechanisms to protect us from these pathogenic organisms. When I use the word pathogenic organisms, it means organisms that can cause diseases to us. We know that there are some organisms that cannot cause diseases to us. Okay, so that means that the immunity is the body's defense mechanism against these pathogens. Okay, and we'll see how this basically works. If your body is not immunocompetent, that's what we use the term, it means that your body cannot defend itself against these microbes. Okay, so a healthy person is supposed to be able to have an immune system that can fight off some of these infections. Okay, so that means that if you are immunocompromised, that means that your immune system's performance is actually down. You have a problem in resisting against pathogens or disease-causing germs. Okay, so when we use the word immunity, we are referring to that capacity to defend the body against pathogens. The first thing in dealing with an enemy is being able to identify who the enemy is. So that is recognition. And then after, you can mobilize the sufficient troops to go and fight that enemy, and that is the response there. Okay, so that means that we should really understand how our body can be able to identify and respond to pathogens. And the science or the discipline that deals with the study of the immune system is what we call immunology. So if you become a specialist and you know how the body defends itself against all these infections, you become known as an immunologist. Okay, that means you're well versed with all the processes that are involved in defending the body against these pathogens. So look at the immune system as the national army. The role of the national army is to defend the country against intruders. So basically to protect citizens and their properties. So that's the same thing that the immune system does. The first thing is to prevent the enemy from entering the country. So prevent the pathogens from entering the body. Okay? But if they gain entry, they should be recognized, they should be detected that this does not belong to us and is an enemy. So that is the second role, detecting the pathogen. After detecting the pathogen, you arrest the pathogen and in this case eliminate the pathogen, kill. Elimination is to kill this pathogen, or sometimes we use the word neutralize. Okay, when the army people use the word neutralize, it means that person has actually been killed. Okay, so that is those are the three functions. And then the fourth one is that that the army can actually turn against its citizens. If that happens, then we have a problem. So it's the same thing with the immune system. If the immune system cannot differentiate who an intruder is and who is actually the usual normal citizen, then you have a problem. So the immune system, given that it can destroy cells or pathogens that are unwanted, it means it is very important that it should be able to recognize the normal cells from the cells that have been infected with pathogens. So first of all, know who the pathogen is. Okay, if it's hiding inside the cell, identify that cell and not destroy it, such that you destroy the pathogen, but also know what the normal cells look like, such that you don't destroy the normal cells. So that is point number 4. We have two defense mechanisms in our bodies. The first one is what we call the innate immunity. This one is always there. Always there. That's why we are saying always active. And then the second one is adaptive immunity. So let's look at these two.